This video has been prepared for the Remedial Law Review class of Judge Bernadette R. Bisoc. This is the case of the Wellex Group vs. Urieta GR number 211098 promulgated on April 20, 2016. Just a background, the Wellex Group is a known owner of hotel chains worldwide, while Urieta is a sheriff from the Sandiganbayan. Here are the facts. Petitioner Wellex Group, Inc. mortgaged 450 million shares of Waterfront Philippines, Inc. to secure a 500 million pesos loan from the Jose Velarde investment management account managed by BDO Unibank, Inc. Upon loan maturity, Wellex failed to pay. BDO later informed Wellex it could not dispose of the shares due to a bare constructive distraint order. Wellex claimed it settled the loan directly with an IMA account under the name Jose Velarde and demanded the shares return. However, BDO refused. In 2007, the Sandiganbayan convicted former President Joseph Estrada of plunder and ordered the forfeiture of his ill-gotten assets, including the IMA account under the Jose Velarde name and the WPI shares. Wellex intervened to exclude the shares, but the Sandiganbayan denied its motion. The shares were scheduled for public auction by Sandiganbayan Sheriff Urieta. Wellex filed a case challenging the forfeiture, but the Supreme Court ruled that the shares were part of the forfeited assets. Wellex then filed the instant case before the Makati RTC. Wellex prayed that the trial court issue a temporary restraining order and a writ of preliminary injunction against the Sandiganbayan to enjoin them from selling the WPI shares at a public auction. It argued the Sandiganbayan violated Section 16, Rule 39 of the Rules of Court providing for third-party claims and that its loan obligation was extinguished by payment. The RTC dismissed the case for lack of jurisdiction based on the principle of hierarchy of courts and failure to state a cause of action. Wellex then appealed the instant case directly to the Supreme Court alleging pure questions of law. Wellex alleged that the RTC has jurisdiction to decide over Wellex's action for recovery of the WPI shares, because it can take cognizance of the same by determining the existence of legal and formal requirements for executing on a security, particularly on the WPI shares. Thus, Wellex seeks that the Supreme Court set aside the dismissal order and direct the resumption of proceedings. Issue: whether the RTC has jurisdiction over Wellex's action for recovery of the WPI shares. The court ruled that yes, the RTC, not the Sandiganbayan, has jurisdiction over Wellex's action for recovery of the WPI shares. Under Section 19 Subparagraph 8 of Batas Pambansa Bilang 129, regional trial courts exercise exclusive original jurisdiction over actions involving title to or possession of real property, or any interest therein, and actions for recovery of personal property with a value exceeding 400,000 pesos. In the case of SPs. Abrigo vs. De Vera GR number 154409 promulgated on the 23rd of June 2004, it was held that third-party claims over levied property must be adjudicated in a separate civil action before the proper court, not the court issuing execution. Even more important, this court notes that the subject matter of this instant controversy brought forth by Wellex is purely civil in nature. This involves the third-party claim of Wellex against the WPI shares vis-a-vis the loan obligation per se, which should be properly lodged before and heard by the regular trial courts. To the mind of this court, it is clear that the same does not pertain to the jurisdiction of the Sandiganbayan. Jurisdiction, which is the authority to hear and the right to act in a case, is conferred by the Constitution and by law. Although the Sandiganbayan, a constitutionally mandated court, is a regular court, it has, nevertheless, only a special or limited jurisdiction. While this court has time and again affirmed that the Sandiganbayan has jurisdiction over the civil aspect of criminal cases, as conferred to it by law, the case before the trial court does not involve the civil aspect of criminal case number 26558. The same has nothing to do with the ownership of the IMA account and/or any of its financial assets, which, as stated above, has been adjudged forfeited in favor of the state. In contrast, the said case is an ordinary civil case entailing the propriety of the actions of a creditor in proceeding against the security for its loan, which necessitates the application of the provisions of the Civil Code, therefore falling under the exclusive jurisdiction of the regional trial courts. In this case, Wellex's claim of ownership over the WPI shares, which are personal property, and assertion of loan payment are civil matters distinct from the Sandiganbayan's plunder case. The Sandiganbayan's jurisdiction is limited to civil liability arising from plunder. Wellex's third-party claim, grounded in contract law and property rights, falls within the RTC's exclusive jurisdiction.